I have just pushed the record button. So again, if you would rather turn off your cameras or blur your background, now is the time to do that. And I am going to share my screen with you. Interesting. Where am I going to go? Here. I think I am coming to here. That's interesting. I had my little dongle is in the way, so bear with me. I need to just try and I don't think you guys get to see that menu, which is really frustrating. I've just moved it out of the way now. Okay, let's move it back out. No matter where I move it, it's in the way. Okay, so I am today actually presenting to you straight out of Canva, which I don't normally do, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So can you guys see my screen? Can someone just come off mute and let me know? Can you see?
Yes, it looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. So this is actually Canva that I'm presenting out of today. Normally I present to you out of PowerPoint, but because I did this in Canva, I thought I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. So this is literally the present mode in Canva, and I've used a Canva, well, as you know, I use a Canva template to make this presentation. So today we're talking the importance of data, which we're going to scoot over, but I just wanted to remind you after last week's lesson and the spreadsheet about data and where we can get our sources of data from and what we can use that for. Because I know a lot of you last week with the spreadsheet, it was a bit of an eye-opener. So I just wanted to close that gap on data. And then we're going to have a look at Instagram broadcast channels, which was a fantastic question that Beth asked in the Lab Facebook group yesterday. And fabulous. I was so pleased to see that question. If any of you come up with questions like that, drop them in there because it gives me something to research and to be able to provide you with some details around that. So thank you for that question, Beth. And then I'm going to talk to you about the process. If you've not heard, and I'm surprised if you haven't heard because I was very vocal about it, I am now Instagram verified. So I'm going to talk to you about that and what that means and the process of doing that also. Okay, so why can I not? There we go. All right, so there we go. There's our agenda. So data, Instagram channels, and Instagram verified. So the role of data for an artist. So you'll know that data helps you identify your ideal buyer. So that happens in your Instagram analytics. So for example, you can see if they're male or female, you can see where they live, you can see the times that they're online, and it gives you the ability to create a post for that exact avatar. Now, avatar, honestly, is a fancy word for your ideal client. You can slice and dice that data in a heap of ways in Instagram analytics. And we delved into that at the very start, and we delved into that a lot in the basics of Instagram, which is a recording, one of the first recordings that I did. And I have just started to upload all the videos into a secret YouTube channel so that you can easily find them and go back and watch any of them along the way. The other reason I've done that is when I open my doors again, we're not covering any old ground that we've covered before, and the new people have got a library they can go and watch what they need to do. So I'm currently in the process of uploading those videos. So data also helps you understand your followers and how they interact with your social accounts. So like I said, days, times, location, but also the posts they like and the format for how they react with the posts that you post and how you post it. So you can go and have a look at your analytics data and go, if I post a reel, how is that performing to my followers versus just a straight static post or a carousel? So a carousel is just where you upload more than one photo and you swipe and see the number of photos. So you can upload up to 10 photos in a carousel. carousels are really popular, and to be honest with you, are possibly outranking reels at the moment. And they're a great way just to build, particularly with art sales. And I think, Chris, you did this really nicely with your recent launch, where you had a number of photos and the buyers could just flick through. So keep that in mind when you're posting to Instagram. So data also helps you make decisions about the size and the price you'll charge for your art. And we learned that in our spreadsheet last week. And then any data you refer to, any data you record, you can refer back to, so that it gives you the ability to make informed decisions, such as, supplies. So we kept that new supplies tab in our spreadsheet. So where you bought what and how much you paid for it, particularly if something goes on special at another provider. It also gives you the cost of a size that you've painted previously and how much it costs to package and post it, which is a real, the packaging and the posting is a thing, right? We all acknowledge that as a thing. So if we can record that, then when we're starting to think about what our next launch is going to be, we can refer back to our data and make decisions around, okay, so if I paint this size, I know roughly it's going to cost me this amount of money to post it. I'm going to include that $25, whatever it might be, in the price. And I'm going to say that this is on sale for, let's say, $199, and it includes tracked postage. And I think, we all had a bit of a discussion about that. And packaging and posting, I think, is something that we'll delve into a little bit further, because a lot of us have a lot of experience in that. And it's great to share and chat that out. Oops, so I'm going back the wrong way. Hang on. Oh. Okay, so maybe this isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so where do we find data? So there's two main places that I find my data. As I mentioned before, Instagram Analytics and my data spreadsheet with the filters on. So if you remember the filters with the down arrows, and if at any point you download that spreadsheet, you start to use it and you run into a few problems, just message me and I can really easily tell you how to fix it, or get you to email it to me and I can put all of those formulas and the drop down arrows back in there for you. So if it's not working the way you want it, shoot me a message, email it to me, and I can get that sorted. Okay, so let's have a look at the types of data that we get from Instagram. So this is some screenshots from my account. So you can see where I had some very engaged posts and some really crap posts. And that shows you that I've not been consistent on my art account. So yeah, very interesting. But you can see followers versus non-followers. You can see where they live, so cities and countries. I've got this sorted by country. So unsurprisingly, the majority of my followers are in the US and Canada. You can see how old they are, which is really, I find that data interesting about tone of voice or the way I write my posts. So I want my posts to be written in a way that the age group of my followers can easily understand what I'm talking about. So I can get a bit, I have to keep myself in check about that a number of times, actually. So it's always a reminder. And I actually have given my ideal clients, so where they live, their age, the days of the week that they're online. I know that they're an artist. I have given my ideal client the name of Mary. And so whenever I post or write, I'm writing for Mary. And that just helps keep my head in check. So I can see the hours that Mary is online. And then if I flick to the days, I could see the days. Now, interestingly, I posted hours because my days are really average spread. And that's because I post, I pretty much post every second day. So you can see that the hours of the day, though, are quite different. So earlier in the morning is when I tend to post, and my posts are all scheduled to go at 4 a.m. my time. So you can see 6 and 9, there's a slight increase. Then it goes off during the day, and then again in the evening, people are consuming my posts. So, I gotta say, see, I'm not sure I'm a fan. This is driving me crazy now. Okay, so maybe I'm not a fan of this. And I didn't bring my mouse. This is really, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so rookie error for Canvas presentations. All right, spreadsheets. So this is the spreadsheet that we had last week. So you can see the little drop down arrows here. You can see them at the top of the line, which will help you sort your data and help you figure out. So particularly if you're recording sizes and price and postage, there's a really great wealth of information there. The other thing too is cataloging, you know, who's bought your work in the past. And the other nice thing too is if you're thinking about a VIP group or changing on Instagram and using the close friends tab to communicate with your buyers, have fun to add these people in because they've bought work from you in the past. So something to keep in mind there, like the wealth of information that you can get off just recording the basic information is really helpful. But remember, rubbish in, rubbish out. So try and keep it as relevant as possible, and then you will find it useful. Okay, so that is data, why we keep it, how we can get it, and the information that it can provide us as artists. So I'm going to change tack now, and we're going to chat about Instagram channels. So I did a bit of research after Beth's question yesterday, and this is what I know about Instagram channels. So Instagram is introducing broadcast channels as a one-to-many messaging tool that allows creators to engage directly with their followers at scale. All right. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we dive into some screenshots that Maya kindly provided me. So creators can use broadcast channels. So when we say creators here, we're not talking about artists. We are talking about people that create content. So creators in the social media sense. So creators can use broadcast channel to help keep their followers updated and share behind the scenes moments. So using text, using photo, using video, using voice notes and polls. So starting today, and I didn't jot down the date of that article, but it was potentially 3 weeks, a month ago. They're testing that feature with a handful of US creators and will be rolling it out to more creators soon. And then I just wanted to let you know that I don't have access to channels as yet. I do subscribe to some, but Maya does, and she's generously shared with us so that we can learn. Okay, so creators can use voice notes to share their latest updates and behind the scenes moment, and even create polls to crowdsource fans' feedback. Only creators can send messages and broadcast, while followers can react to content and vote in polls. So what that means is that it's like a one-way street of information. So it's like let's say stories, for want of a better word. It's like stories where you're just putting that story out there and people are reacting to it. Only difference is they cannot leave a message. They cannot comment on a broadcast channel. I'll call it post, for want of a better word. So the only interactions that you can do on a broadcast channel is a poll where you can vote, or you can go like, heart. You can use your emojis to like a comment or a voice note. So Instagram will be adding more features to broadcast channels in the coming months, like the ability to bring another creator into the channel to discuss upcoming collabs, to crowdsource questions, or ask me anything and more. And I think that bit is going to be really fun, where you can collab with other artists, all sorts, to provide information again in a one-way situation to your followers. Now, it was interesting reading through your comments, and I take on board that a lot of you are like, it's just something else you've got to check. Where it sits in your on your Instagram is actually in your DMs. So if you go to your messages on your DMs, you'll see you've got your primary, your general, and then your channels tab. And so you don't actually have to go into it if you don't want to. But I love it, I'll be honest. So I follow Adam Missouri there, who's the head of Instagram, and he puts really interesting stuff out on the daily on his channel. And for him, it just seems a lot easier just to download a voice note and send it out versus doing a story on Instagram. So it's a quick way of getting information out to your followers that have subscribed to your channel. Now, you invite followers to subscribe. And I'm going to, I'm still doing this here. I'm going to show you, Michelle, you're ringing me on Instagram video. Is everything all right? Can somebody just come off mute and just let me know that you're seeing this?
I hit the wrong button. I was trying to look and see if I had the broadcast option.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
You.
I was thinking, am I talking to anybody here or have I gone silent? Okay, so in the channels, and yes, so if you've got channels, you will receive a notification that it is available to you. All right. But it does sit in your DMs where you've got primary, general, and channels. And if you click on channels, you'll see the channels that you've subscribed to. And we can come back to this actually when we stop sharing here and have a chat about. I've got two artists, and then I've got Adam, the head of Instagram, that I follow on channels. And it's really interesting to see how each of those use it. Now, Maya very generously sent me a screenshot of how the channel sits. And you'll see there that if you can see my cursor moving, can you see she has a little, almost like a speech bubble there with Maya Larson Studio. That is her channel. So she has that channel there. Now, if you've not subscribed to Maya's channel and you clicked on that, you probably get an option to subscribe to her channel. If somebody's not and they want to try it for me and just confirm, that would be great. So then when you come into Maya's channel, so she's got a theme, there's her link, and then she's got some posts that in her channel. In fact, if I click on Maya, she does actually have more than that in her channel now. That potentially was one of the latest ones, but she's got information in her channel there. So she can personalize it and make it a theme. So you can see Maya has chosen the tie-dye theme, but you can, there's a number of different themes there. Good to see Taylor Swift's in on the action early. That's a bit of fun. And then you've got, who can message. So Maya is the only one that can message on her channel at the moment. So say Maya and I were doing a collab, or a collaboration, let me put that out in its proper term. I would imagine that I would sit here beside Maya and we could both share and collaborate on her account. So it's kind of fun, right? I think that even though it's annoying, and a lot of you are like, it's just something else I've got to look at, my suggestion would be follow those that you really want to get their information from and have a few of them there that you can see when there's something new in your channel and you can go and have a look and see that update. It's, I think it's a great way for communication. And to be honest, I'm pleased that Instagram have done this because Instagram's a really noisy place. Like, you'll know when you post, often there's crickets. You post and then there's nothing. So having broadcast channels, it means that you're getting to your true followers, fans that want to see your information. Another great idea for your channel, although I'm not sure that you can stop people coming in and maybe this isn't so good. I think close friends is probably still a better way for that. I was just thinking, you know, like your art VIP club, but I think, and I'm not sure if Maya's on, but I'm not sure whether you get to approve people coming in or not, or whether they just subscribe and they're there. So to be seen. Let's see how that plays out. But that's what I know about channels. So it's going to be a really fun tool. I think Instagram have just started to roll it out. So we'll see more and more people using it. And to be honest with you, have a play with it. Watch what people are doing and think about how you could use it. So we'll keep our eye on channels, and certainly as it becomes available for me, I will certainly jump into it. So you can see how I'll be using it as well. And I'm looking forward to it actually. So that will be fun. I don't know whether it's answered your questions, but Beth, all I wanted to say, and to those of you that commented, you don't have to subscribe to people's channels, right? The option is there if you want to. But my suggestion would be, if there's people you particularly want to make sure that you don't miss their posts, yes, you can go and turn them on in notifications. But if they've got a broadcast channel, go and jump on that also, and just, you know, go and have a play and just see how it goes. Remember, the more you get, the more arduous it's going to be to keep up to date with what everybody's doing, a bit like anything. So my suggestion is straight up, until you're comfortable with it, you know, choose a select few and keep on top of them. Okay, so an update on Instagram Verified. So those of you who saw my account yesterday, I had an invitation from Instagram to become verified. Now, all three of my accounts were eligible to be verified. So this one here, the Organised Artist, my Alison Lake Artist account, and my Alison Lake Artist Facebook page was also eligible to become verified. The trick is, you can only choose one. So it's like, okay, well, let's do the Organised Artist. That kind of makes sense. So I went through the process, and it was really simple, to be honest. It was literally at the bottom of "You've been invited," the pay button. I'm like, okay. So anyway, went and got my credit card. Actually, no, did Apple Pay, put that in. And the next thing was, I needed to send a photo of an ID, so a driver's license or a passport. I sent my passport photo because it had my full name, like everything matches what my Instagram accounts say. And the only thing I had to do, which those of you who know me well and know my reasoning will laugh their heads off at me, had to change so I had to remove the logo on the Organised Artist account and had to put a photo of myself so that they could verify me. Interestingly, I tried to change it back and it wouldn't let me, because it's a verified account. It has to have a photo of me. So that's pretty annoying. But anyway, I applied. It's costing me $24.95 a month. So $25 a month. We'll see, right? Day 2. And let's see what they say they're going to provide is worth that amount of money. But I'll be honest, it kind of felt pretty cool last night. You know, when I was commenting on other people's posts, knowing that they would see my blue tick. So that kind of felt a bit cool, but you know, that's just a vanity excuse, to be honest. So so that was the process I had to do. It was very quick. I want to say within an hour I heard, but that's only because I checked my notifications back an hour later. When I went and had a look at the timestamps, it would have been approved in less than 15 minutes. And then, you know, how did I know I had access to apply? It came up in a notification in my Instagram, and it showed all the accounts that I could apply for. But as I said, I could only choose the one of them. So you can see there, that's the screenshots of, I took screenshots all the way through so you could see. So I could choose any one of those 3 accounts. And then when I got the notification back, this is when I clicked on it, this is what it came up and said, that they had verified my account. And then, oh, sorry, that it was pending. Sorry, it was pending. And then it was, what's the difference in those two? Why did I put both of those in there? In review. In review. I don't know. That's interesting, isn't it? I just wanted to test you and myself this morning. They look to be the same screenshot, just quietly, but you can see there on the very last one that I now have that blue tick. And if you go into my account or search for me like I have here, interestingly, so you can see I searched the organised artist, and clearly I'm not the only organised artist account, right? But you can see now that I appear at the top of that pile and I've got the blue tick. So from that perspective, especially when you're, and I guess this is the thing, right? When your accounts are being cloned and you've got a blue tick, it's really hard for somebody cloning your accounts when they can see that you've got a blue tick, because clearly the cloned account won't have. So from that perspective, I get it, but that's just a bit of a no-brainer. I mean, that's just the way the blue ticks work with Instagram. So it's not, if I'm paying $24.95 just for the blue tick, we'll see how that goes. I did put on my post, actually, was it my post? I'm going to stop sharing now, actually, and bring you all back so that we can chat. You don't need to sit on that. There you go. Did Maya make it on? No, she didn't know that she was going to, actually. I'm just going to show you on my post where I said that I've been verified. So the post which I've pinned to the top line of my Instagram account actually tells you what verification gives you. So it says enhanced verification lets your followers know it's the real you with a verified badge on your Instagram profile. So protection, proactive protection, avoids impersonation with active account monitoring. So that'll be interesting. Direct support, get help when you need it from a real person on issues that matter to you. Increased reach, so expand your visibility in comments and recommendations. Let me come back to you in a minute on that one. Oh, that's sunrise. This is quite a funny story. I'll come back to you in a minute. And then exclusive extras, express yourself with stickers that are only available in Meta verified subscribers. I'm yet to find those. I'm not sure what they are, but it only happened late yesterday, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm ducking down behind my shield here. Interestingly, so I had to change my profile logo back to a photo of myself to get verified. Well, who do you think my followers have been ever since? Creepers. By the flipping thousands of them have come out of the woodwork and started it's been a full-time job ever since to go in and unfollow them, actually. So I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, is this one because my photo is now up, or do they think I'm some kind of superstar because I've got a blue tick? I'm unsure, but I'm kind of like, it kind of proves two things, right? So anyway, I'm hoping that settles down, because otherwise it will be one of the first things that I talk to Instagram account when I figure out how that you get the support, is how do you stop those bot accounts from following you? Like, it has been off the Richter scale. So that's what I know. Like, that is my experience with verified. It was a alarmingly easy process for the money that you're paying a month. Like literally pay and then send a photo of your ID and thank you very much. We'll charge you $25 a month. And yeah, so to be honest, I'm still on the fence about it, but I will certainly keep you posted. It's day 2. I only did this yesterday, and I'll certainly keep you posted on all of that. So questions. And I'm sorry, I'm crouching down. I've got a screen in front of me that you can't see. And I didn't really, because it's an hour earlier and it was almost dark when I came out here, actually, I didn't know what the sunrise was going to do. So now I need to jack my screen up a little bit more. So apologies for ducking down. But does anybody have any questions on Absolutely anything we've covered today or anything at all. I'll have to tell you also that I'm very excited about the YouTube library. So I've started uploading those videos in there. So it makes it easy if you want to go back and search even Instagram basics, you know, like what did I say in that class? In the YouTube, you can go in and see all of the videos there. So they are all, and they've all got titles. I will add links to any PDFs that go along with them as I upload them. I won't lie, it will take me a little while to do that, but I am on a time frame to do it, so it's at the top of my project list. Questions? Does anybody have any burning questions today? Wow.
I have a question. Hi, everybody.
Marissa.
I was wondering if there was anybody else that could not join broadcast channels, because I can't join any.
Okay, interesting. They are
And I've
rolling it
updated.
out, so it's brand new. They are rolling it out, so I can join, but I can't have one yet. Yeah. So if you go into Maya's, do you see her little channel? No, you don't see it.
I'm like, you can see it. You
Yeah.
guys can't see my screen, but when it doesn't let me click it.
It doesn't let
And
you
it
click
says, nope. And it says this feature isn't available to everyone yet.
Yeah, yeah. And same for you, Miriam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. And isn't it weird the way Instagram roll this out, right? There's kind of
That's
no
irritating.
rhyme or reason about it, right? So Maya's in Canada. Yeah. And likewise with Instagram verified, right? They rolled it out into Australia and New Zealand first. I mean, that's just bizarre, unless it's potentially a smaller cohort of people that are going to take up the opportunity, so they know roughly what the demand is going to be. And I don't know if you heard on the news or if it made the news over there, or whether, but I mean, you guys know I follow this stuff. So Facebook laid off another 10,000 staff yesterday, which is really interesting. And it still goes along with my belief that watch what happens with Facebook and Instagram. What Facebook do really, really well is Facebook groups. And they do that exceptionally well. Nobody else can do Facebook groups or interact with groups of people like Facebook can. So I have always said, and I still believe this, and I'm watching it clearly with interest, that Facebook will concentrate on what they do well and, take away or change or not provide the service to some of the other things that they do particularly well. You know, you ask any teenager now, my daughter's the first one to tell me, Facebook's for old people, Mum. But she has to be on Facebook because that's where all of her footy team managers post training requirements, and it's how, coaches and things communicate with a group of people. So she does have to have an Instagram account to be part of a Facebook group. But that is the only reason. She doesn't look at anything else other than she'll look at my posts and go, cringe, Mum, you're so cringy. But I remind her I'm an old person and I use Facebook. Alex.
Another thing that's going away, and I'm probably maybe the only one who's benefited from it last year, is they're going to take the Reels bonus away.
Yes, the Reels bonus,
Yeah.
yes.
Which makes me think that maybe they figured out that they can't compete with TikTok on the Reels. And so
Yeah. And
they're also taking, the reach definitely dropped. It didn't drop like it definitely dropped, but it's still, I still get a lot of reach on my Reels, but not like last year. And it's not giving. They changed it first by giving you less money, and now I've heard they're going to take it away.
I've heard they're going to take it away.
One more paycheck.
And it's going to be interesting also to see what they do with channels, because to me, channels is a bit like, and those of you with teenage kids, if they're of this age, will know Snapchat, right? So my daughter and her friend have added me into Snapchat. After 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, I can't stand this. You guys are driving me crazy. And they're just Snapchatting each other, and they've got streaks, and they're just sending random photos of who knows what to their whole broadcast channel on Snapchat. It's hilarious to watch. And funnily enough, I had Snapchat when it first came out years and years ago. And I've got some memories on Snapchat of Emily and her friend who've also added me when they were like 2 years old together, and they would dress alike. And so these memories come up, and I have great delight in sharing them with them. And they're like, oh, you're so embarrassing. So the one reason that Snapchat is giving me joy is so I can persecute them currently. But it drives me crazy. And every time I'm in the car, you know, Emily's kind of doing these ones, you know, the whole, you know, thing going on, and snapping them to all of her friends. It's like, oh, please. But it has a bit of a stalkerish component to it also, which Emily showed me. So anybody that you follow on Snapchat, as long as they've got their location turned on, you can see on Snap Maps wherever they are. So Emily knows when all of her friends are leaving home to go to footy training, and Mum, Tara's already at footy training. Come on, let's go, you know. So it's interesting that Instagram are kind of seeing what these other platforms are doing and somehow trying to get in on the action. I like it. I like playing and seeing how it works out. And because I think Instagram's so much more sophisticated than, you know, TikTok. And TikTok does worry me. It's Chinese owned. And I know there's a lot of security questions around TikTok. And in Australia, they have just been talking about, and I'm not sure it's come in actually, but they're talking about putting a time limit on it for anybody under a certain age of an hour a day.
In the US, they're talking about taking it away.
Are they? Yeah.
But, you know, but then today I heard that basically the Chinese are saying, well, you know, we can do all other things. We don't have to, like, the US wants them to sell it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's right. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Meta, you know, somebody like Meta will be, and who knows, maybe that's why they're laying off staff, right? So that they're cashed up and they're ready to pounce if it is up for sale. Because, yeah, I mean, I love watching all these new platforms and how they take off or not. You know, like I was playing around with Be Real for a while, but then again, it just gets a lot and I just can't be bothered. You know, you've got 2 minutes to post what you're doing right then, right now, forward camera, front, you know, front camera, back camera. And I'm like, oh, this is driving me crazy. So
also, it depends on who's on there. I remember when everyone, was it last year, that everyone was like, oh, we hate Facebook, we hate Instagram. Let's all go to whatever that platform was, Vero or whatever. And some artists went over, and I'm like, so now what? So now you're going to show your art to like your 5 other artist friends?
Yeah,
like, that's
and
ridiculous.
I played with Vero for a bit too. And again,
I played for like 1 hour and then I deleted it.
I posted a few posts over at Vero. And it was when Instagram was having all of its engagement issues. But I think
there was no engagement at Vero because there was no people.
I know there was no people in Vero, so it was no better, right?
We're going to get engagement with no people.
Yeah, that's right. So there was, and that's right. And there still isn't. And, you know, I really love following Adam Mosseri. So do you guys follow him, the head of Instagram, on Instagram? He's funny. He's a dad. And I'll show you his account. He's really funny. And he takes to stories. He talks a lot about what's going on. That's, if you can you see him there? So his handle is Mosseri. And he takes to stories. He's got a channel. He rocks up. His kids rock up. You know, for the head of Instagram, he's a great guy. And he shares some really great stuff. And he does a lot of Ask Me Anything as well. And I learn a lot. I binge his posts and watch a lot. Just so, you know, I love this stuff, as you know. So it'll be interesting with the Verified to see what happens. But again, you know, $25 or $24.95 a month, basically $25 a month. It kind of hurts a little bit in amongst all of your other things that you subscribe to. I won't lie, but I have to change my mindset about that and think, is it an insurance policy?
Yep, that's what I just wanted to say. It's basically like paying
Yeah.
insurance that hopefully you never
Yep.
need. And it's
that's
a
right.
business deduction.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and also on and that's the reason I did it on my business account. It shows that I am a registered, like I'm a serious business. I'm not just somebody calling myself that. So it gives me that advantage also. So, when you go and you search for the organized artist, as you saw, there was a whole raft of people. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like having a website versus, I mean, I sell through Instagram a lot,
Yeah.
but now that I've always had the website too.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have a website, it's gonna, if
Yeah.
someone's gonna pay you $200 for a painting, they want to know that you didn't just like,
Yeah.
woke up that morning and decided you sell a painting. Like they want to see that it's like, unless you like me, Etsy, same. If you have like a bigger Etsy account or something,
Yeah.
it's a little bit that extra step. And that website is my most expensive thing other than art supplies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
when I went and bought my URL, so the organizedartist.com is in use. Somebody has it. And when I search for them, they've not posted anything since 2013, so 10 years, and it's up for sale in June. So I have a calendar reminder the days before and the days after to go in, and if they don't renew it, I'll certainly be buying it, which is why I've got the .net currently. Yeah. So that'll be, and even on Instagram, she's not called that. Can't even remember what she's called actually. But again, she's not posted since 2013 on Instagram. So I'm fairly confident, unless she goes and figures out that somebody else is wanting it. And then, because to be honest, people do that, right? So she would renew it and then she would try and sell it to me. I've thought about approaching her, but then I thought, it's only June. I'll sit tight. Yeah. So I also have a trademark pending on the organized artist, which I applied through Australia for. And then there is an international convention that they then apply on my behalf around the world to do that. It's a complete pain in the backside, but, we'll see. And it takes forever. It takes like 7 months. So I can now use the name TM after the organized artist. And then once that's approved, I can change that to R for registered, but I don't at the minute. Yeah. Yeah. So anything from anybody else? Any questions, any concerns, any statements? No? Who's got launches coming up? Christy, you are doing amazing in your sales. I saw my favorite piece sold.
Yeah. It was family, so that was good.
Oh, how wonderful. I love that piece with the boats. Congratulations.
I do
did
too.
you ever have to end up shipping something? Because I know I missed like a week. So
there's
how did that work?
So far it's been local, but there's a 30 by 40 inch piece that might have to go to Florida, and it's risky to try and box it. I mean, it's because it's a bigger piece. So I have researched this thing with that Airfloat boxing system, because it's for bigger art. But it's not like a wooden crate where you're spending $1,000 to get that done. So I estimated, because I've gone through the postage through pirate ship with this piece, what the piece would cost. So the piece itself is like $150 with shipping to me like $90, so it's like $250 for that, $150 for shipping. So I end up at like $400 plus for shipping it to her, but it's half off. So she's gonna come out even if she bought the piece, just full price. So,
and you wouldn't consider taking it off its stretches and rolling it and posting it?
I would, except I just think this customer might not know where to go. It might be really difficult for her.
Yeah.
So I could ask her. I don't know how much that is because you take it off.
Because I wonder if you could Google where she lives and then give her, or, you know, figure out somebody that could potentially however she wanted to frame it, and then
Yeah.
find out the cost of that. And then you could kind of say, here's some other options.
Right. And it's a piece that for some reason, if I'm not so attached to it. I mean, I have to view some of this as an experiment.
Yeah.
So that might be, you know, if I ask her and I could just say, I've Googled and, you know, found something there. If
Yeah.
this all works out, you know, kind of have her, she's nice enough. She would probably maybe go through that with me. I'm not sure, but yeah, you kind of have to think about like she's a dean of a psychology department in a college. So she's
Yeah.
very busy. So I'm not sure if it would
It's that
be.
buyer experience, isn't it? But that's why I was thinking if you kind of made it a little bit easier for her and told her
Right.
exactly, or even you posted it to the framer.
Right. Oh yeah, and that may be the way to do
Yeah,
it.
and then once it
Yes.
was all back on, you know, she would pay for whatever they did, but once it was all back together, she just picked it up
Yeah.
from there.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing.
No, it's good.
I heard
I mean,
this term. Deb, was that you who told me that spitballing term?
I'm not sure. It's not beyond me that I would use it or explain it.
Because whoever taught me that term, I want to say I use it heaps.
it is. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and if anybody wants the name of the shipping boxes, because everybody, I think, or most of you do small work, but if anybody does bigger pieces, these boxes are amazing, and they're not so bad. Like if it's something you really, really want packed well and beautifully, you know.
Yeah.
What are they called?
so It's called Air Float. So, and I can send it to you if
I was gonna
to
say,
anybody.
Christine, would you like to just pop a link? I'm happy if you just post it on the wall of the lab.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, because it sounds
Yeah.
like something that would be really useful for everybody. Yeah,
It
that
is.
would be great.
It's good because you go through some risk. Excuse me, this is my cat here who's like laying on my iPad. You go through some risk when you're packing, like if something's a 36 by 36, you know, if we packed it in a box that we got at U-Haul and you don't have something that's going to prevent puncture, that's the big fear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these boxes, you can buy them lined or unlined and it's priced accordingly, but they really are very protective. So, you know, I'd say long distance or Europe, that kind of thing would be good. I can't even, by the way, Allie, I can't even get a box. I'm trying to think, maybe I can. I think I can get one that's the size of those boats, but can you imagine the cost? I can't even imagine.
Yeah, wow.
I think once the art is worth, you know.
Yeah.
Once the art is worth, you know, $7,000, then you're getting into being worth it, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Maya, thanks for popping on. We had a quick look at how you set up your Instagram broadcast channel. Thank you so much for sharing those screenshots with us. Are you enjoying
I'm so
it?
sorry I'm late, by the way, as well. I thought I was early. I'm going to be on time.
Oh,
Nope.
daylight saving.
No.
No, so we kept the time has just changed for me. We kept it the same for
No,
everybody
my-
else. Yeah.
Totally my fault. So I appreciate you guys were able to make use of them. So yeah, if you
Yeah.
have any questions.
Are you
Thank you,
enjoying
Maya.
it?
I am. I'm acutely aware though of the spammy aspect, right? Because it's new to Instagram, so it's subject to change. Things may not stay the same. You might get comfortable with the format as it exists, and it may, right, like something may be rolled out inside of it. So it's nice that you can opt out. Beth, right, was concerned about missing things. And yes, I think that is something you just will run the risk of, because I feel like if some of the artists that we all follow are using them, it's because they're not getting maybe as much response to the emails they're sending out, and they realize that their audience is on Instagram or in this case, so Instagram. So they want to actually reach them and not just get lost in the shuffle of, I don't want to read that right now, right? So if you're on Instagram, it's because you're looking for those things that you set up to follow, right? So my
Mm.
guess is that if you go and join a broadcast channel, it's because you want to know
Yeah.
what that person is saying, but you don't want to have to wait for the stories.
That's right.
It'll
And
be
Maya
fed
brings up a
to
really
you.
interesting point, because remember, when you post something on Instagram, it literally only gets shared with 5% of your audience.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, and Instagram is very noisy. So you know that when you start that scroll, you only scroll for a certain amount of time, right? And for me, it's probably the length of a cup of tea. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
And then, so my suggestion is, just to go with your gut. And if you're for following, right, you know what you like, how much you're willing to put up with in your DMs and whatnot. And I have, as an artist who runs a little side business with her art, considered offering different coupon codes for the people joining my, channel on Instagram versus
Smart
the people
idea.
who opt to
Yep.
reply to my email subscription ones. Like my last collection was done with a pre-sale. I didn't do that for this one because this is the year that I'm really taking stock of what data I'm getting from
Yeah.
doing things a little differently. So
Yeah.
I'm prepared to see dips in numbers or zeros or or no
It's a smart
sales.
idea, particularly, and Danny, I think about you also, with where your business is about to go. If Channels is available for you, what a great option for communicating with the people that have opted in. That's definitely something that you should consider, particularly for, hey guys, I've been trying out whatever it might be, supply. Have a look at the results that I've got. Remember, it's the concept is a one-to-many approach, so it's you to everybody. The response back is literally emoji, likes, loves, and a poll. Have you run a poll yet, Maya?
No, I haven't. Like I said, I have my collection coming. I really don't want to turn anybody off from subscribing
No.
by
Yeah,
jumping a little too hard with it. So,
yeah.
but that definitely increases the Instagram algorithm scenario when you're running those various things for
Yeah.
sure. Mhm.
To be honest, I'm itching to get it. I think it's going to be fun to play with. And
Yes.
hopefully it gets that message to, even if it's just a, hey guys, go and check out my latest post, blah, 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 right? It's just a way of communicating with the people that, remember, they've subscribed to you. They want to hear from you. They have subscribed to your channel because they want your information. So I think,
Well,
don't ever feel spammy about it. They want to hear from you.
if you don't like doing videos, reels, or stories or lives in your stories because you're super self-conscious or whatever your reason is, this might be a way around that as well. Because the only people that are going to want to see your face are going to be the ones that subscribe to your channel. So you can take that little bit of out of it, because the people who are coming aren't expecting you to be a brand. And that's where I've been kind of wondering. So I also want to talk to Ali about that too.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm so pleased to see you using it. Shemi Dixon is also using it. So those of you in the Insider Studio will know Shemi. Hers is fun too. So I literally subscribe to 3 people: Maya, Shemi, and Adam Masseri. Maya, have you subscribed to Adam? Do you know Adam Masseri, head of Instagram?
Yes. I don't know if I've subscribed to his channel,
Go
but I do see
subscribe to
his
his
reels.
channel, because he's using it in
Okay.
some really fun ways.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that I want to see if you guys are going to talk a bit more about, because that cult of personality, right? So being you and being the artist online. And is there a difference? I feel yes. And how strongly of a difference are you between who you are on Instagram and who you are, and is it something that you can share authentically? I don't know. I've been running up against it, Ali, so I don't want to bring it up in your Zoom if it's not a good idea.
And maybe so next week I'm hoping to have a very special guest in the hot seat. She is on here today, and I'm hoping that her daughter has her legs crossed for another at least week so that I can put her in the hot seat next week. But do you know what, Maya? I think that it's a really great subject to talk about, showing up authentically. And let's have a chat about that. If Chris isn't able to join us next week in the hot seat, I wanted to have a backup subject that we could just roll with. And then we'll just push Chris to another date. But I know, like, Chris has been doing some incredible things since she's been in the lab and has been experimenting and getting a lot of things up and running. And bearing in mind, when she first started in November, was really hesitant about showing up on video. So Chris's and her Instagram account has just grown exponentially as a result of. So I just wanted to have to chat to Chris about how she's doing it all and what she's doing. So for those of you that, you know, have, I don't want to say fallen behind, because there's no falling behind. It's, you know, you do what you want as the time works for you. But for those of you that, you know, are a bit nervous maybe about doing a landing page or a newsletter or whatever it is, you know, can have a chat about how Chris has implemented it. So I'm really excited to unpack, and look at me ducking down behind this morning sun. So I'm really excited to dive in with all of that with Chris next weekend. But we will I'm going to do a presentation and let's have a chat. Actually, maybe not even a presentation. Maybe it's a conversation about showing up online. And it's a great time now that it's coming into the warmer months for you guys and you're getting out and about showing up and being authentic and showing your true personality.
I think I would like to hear what everybody has to say, because I feel like everybody's at so many different stages in their art journey that the resource would be pretty valuable to hear and be refreshed, or to have some idea, you know, of how other people are working with it. So
yeah, I think it's a great idea, Maya, and I love it when you guys give me these suggestions, because I get excited and I just want to dive in and delve in. So I am going to put something together, even just some talking prompts, right? So just to get the conversation started, because I think once we start, everybody's going to be able to share their experience and how they feel, but also what you struggle with. You know, do you struggle with going live? Do you struggle with doing video? Do you struggle with doing a story video and uploading it straight away? You know, what is it that you struggle with? And then how can we support each other? You know, how can I support you? Is it that you really want to go live and you want to do a live art launch, but you're a bit nervous about it? Well, let's do a live together. You know, let me jump into a live with you and let's just have a chat. And once you've done a live once, it's really not scary. Like, you get used to it. It's just like video. It's just fear of the unknown. And sometimes it's just that first step. So let's have a chat about this next week. And even, like, I think our chat with Chris, even I don't imagine it's going to take up the whole hour. So Chris, we might try and keep that to half an hour next week, if you're able to make it. And Chris, there's no pressure on Chris, because she is on grandma watch. So we will just be playing this by ear, and even kind of 5 minutes before, Chris might say, I can't make it. So I don't, you know, if she can, wonderful. If she can't, we will dive into showing up with confidence. We will call it showing up with confidence and real selves versus Instagram. Oh, I love this subject.
I have to watch the replay, and I am so grateful that you keep them, because I unfortunately am not home from school until after school.
Yeah, and I realize, you know, this isn't a great time
On
for so
behalf
many.
of us late folk, thank you for sharing and keeping them,
That's good.
Ellie.
And you probably missed, Maya. I am now saving them all into a secret YouTube library so that they can be easily found with links to attachments, so that when I open my doors again, we don't have to cover any old ground. The library is there for everybody else to go and have a look at, to bring themselves up to speed on. So I did that so that, you know, there's no change in momentum for all of you guys that have been working so hard, but, you know, new people coming in, I wanted them to have access to that resource as well. So it's an easier way for them to find that, those videos. Yeah.
Smart.
Awesome. All right, my lovelies. Well, I'm going to draw a line in the sand right there. It's lovely to see you all. For those of you who come to paint along, we'll see you tomorrow, and book club will see you the next day. So I was going to say, Sunday or Monday, but no, that's actually Saturday and Sunday for you guys. So keep cool, Danny. It's looking hot. You're looking as hot as we are here. I'm ducking down behind that early. I've really got to fix my thing. I didn't realize that hour difference, Alex.
One more question. I've missed Paint Along for a couple of weeks because when my husband's in town, then the weekends are kind of like busy, but
How inconsiderate.
I do have time tomorrow. Is it still that same link or did the link change too?
I'll tag you in the link in the networking hub. The link changed and the time has changed. And I changed the time so it wasn't 5 a.m. for me. It was 6 a.m. for me. So essentially it's an hour later. And yeah, but the link will be, so once you've got that new link, that's the link it is every week.
Thank you.
Right, and same time for you every week. So the time, so whenever I do something, the time will never change for you guys. It will always be, say, 4 p.m. Eastern. I make it so that I do the time change, not you guys. So I get up that hour earlier or get an extra hour with my cup of tea. Yeah.
Okie doke. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. Christy, you came off mute. Did you have a question?
No, just was saying bye whenever you say goodbye.
Okay. Sorry, my husband is now standing with me here. He's looking at me. So I think I probably need to go. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you tomorrow for those that come. Bye.
Bye, girls.